as long as I'm singing, there's a bell up in my brain that's ringing, making a crazy ding-dong.
Releasing a solo album is something I always thought I would do. I thought it would probably be as a trumpet player, not a singer, but there you go. If someone had said to me 18 months ago that I'd have an album out that I'm really proud of, with a fantastic band, working with some great guests, with some tracks on that I've always loved, and some original material I'm really proud of, I would have laughed at them. So yeah, really happy with the result, and look forward to doing many more. The genre of swing music is something that's always been within me, really. It was played downstairs at home as I was growing up, and upstairs was reggae and ska. When I say downstairs and upstairs, my grandparents lived downstairs with us for the first 7 or 8 years of my life. So they were playing stuff like Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, Count Basie, Sinatra, all that kind of stuff that my granddad was really into. My grandma was a very talented singer and actress. My granddad bought me my first trumpet and has always been a big influence and a big supporter and encourager of this, but in this album in particular. So I always had those two genres. They were the sort of soundtrack to me growing up, with some soul thrown in there as well, some funk and soul. That's always been a love of mine as well. And those who know me would see that in my career, both band-wise and now into my solo career, those two genres have always been really prominent. The debut single and title track from the album, As Long As I'm Singing, is a great upbeat number, one that I really enjoy performing live. We usually open with it live, and it puts a smile on most of the audience's faces, even if it's not a track that they particularly know that well. My producer summed it up really well earlier when I saw him. He said that it really makes a statement. It's there, it says what it needs to say, and that brass riff at the start, ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da-da, very confident. So one I really enjoyed recording. Originally by Bobby Darin, not my song actually. A few people have said to me, "Oh, that's a great tune you wrote there." I didn't write it. It was Bobby Darin originally. A guy who gave a lot to the music industry as a singer, a songwriter, a multi-instrumentalist, an actor. It was taken from us too soon, sadly. But somebody I've always been a really big fan of, a great performer live as well. So yeah, one I really enjoyed recording and performing that one. Working with Alison Wheeler, formerly of the Beautiful South, was a real privilege and an honour. She's somebody that I've always admired, to be honest. She's got a lot of class, a lot of professionalism. Is a fantastic singer and known in the pop genre really well. She's been to the very top, and she's always had a passion for this sort of music. Not a lot of people do know that, but she's always been a real passionate believer in jazz music and swing music. She sings it fantastically, and she really blew everybody away when she came into the studio. An absolute pleasure to work with, and she picked some great songs. Can't We Be Friends, the Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong rendition of that sort of chemistry we tried to recreate there. That was a really unique arrangement from a guy called Ray Butcher. And the Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out, Nina Simone song that she picked, was another real belter to do in the studio. Really a lot of fun that was, and she really impressed me, especially on that one. I mean, I thought, we've got a proper singer here, you know. I bet the band were relieved that a proper singer had come into the studio. So yeah, real pleasure to work with her on that. And as some of you may know, I've been part of the South as a trumpet player since 2012. So to work with Alison in a different capacity, and for her to agree to do it was fantastic. Antidote for the Blues is one of the two original tracks on the album, written by Andrew Price, Andy, a really good friend of mine, and keyboard player with the South, and with Ainsley Lister as well, one of the biggest blues artists in the UK. Really talented writer, and not a lot of people know that about Andy. He's a very interesting writer, and it was funny, the timing of it, because I was thinking about songs I could do in that sort of vein, things like One for My Baby, Sinatra, those kind of songs. I needed that smoky kind of ballad to feature on the album. And I got an email from Andy, and he said, I'm sifting through my computer and came across this. I think it could be something that could be good for you. And I took one listen to it, a recording he did on his phone with him playing piano and singing, and I thought, yeah, that's a song I've got to record. Got the guys in the studio. Unfortunately, Andy couldn't make the session, but the guys I got in interpreted it really well. I know Andy was really pleased with it, as was I. And adding little touches like Steve Nutter with his harmonica on there really added a nice little glisten on the top to it. It's got that sort of Tom Waitsy feel. I'm quite a big Tom Waits fan, and I was really pleased with the end result. Really proud of that one. So as I said earlier, I'm into my obviously reggae and ska, swing music is obviously a big part of what I do, but I'm also a massive funk and soul fan. Grew up on that stuff as well. That was sort of the third influence really, and Earth, Wind and Fire are just one of the best bands of all time in my opinion. The song September was quite big at the time with England being in the World Cup. There was a song made out of the melody from September, So I'll be honest, that's part of the reason I covered it, but also because I love the song as well, and it's never been done to my knowledge in swing, so I thought it'd be quite interesting to do. A great arrangement from a guy called Benny Lee, who acts as MD for me a lot of the time, musical director, and I had the Darling Creatures involved in that, and I mean they can really sing. Lovely girls as well, really multi-talented, great dancers as well. They featured on the album launch, of course, and did a good stint with me on stage at that, and that was fantastic. So the band had a really good day in the studio that day. We recorded "You Send Me" as well, one of my favourite Sam Cooke numbers, and that was a real special day. And September's sort of edging towards that end of the album where it's a bit more funky, it's a bit more soulful, and possibly the direction I'm wanting to go in, sort of following this album as well. So The Word is a song that myself and George Mitchell wrote. I've been friends with George for a number of years now. He's a great sax player, great guitarist as well, really knows his chords, and his musical knowledge is spot on, and he's got a great voice as well, a really talented lad. And it came together really quickly. Within a couple of minutes we had the chord structure, just something he was messing about with, and I said, yeah, that's a good idea, let's work on that. And a couple of sessions and we had the song written. Recording it and producing it was another matter. That took a long time. A couple of different studios. We worked with some really good producers on it. A guy called Chris Cover, who's had some good producing success in the past, and added some nice touches to it. You know, some of the strings you hear on the track were Chris's idea, really. And we had backing vocals from a girl called Leah Govia on there, who's a really talented singer. Again, the lads did a great job playing that in the studio, and I like the fact it had that brand new heavy sort of feel, which is what we were sort of going for on it. The song kind of explains itself. Is she ever going to say the word? But it's never revealed what the word actually is. It's like a lot of songs, it is a love story, but told a bit sort of retrospectively. So the 2019 As Long As I'm Singing tour will feature a lot of the UK's best venues. Really looking forward to visiting those, taking in different parts of the country. Many I've seen myself as part of bands, but it'll be the first time I'm doing it under my own steam. Really hope to see you down there. Really hope to entertain. That's one thing you can expect, you're going to be entertained. You know, that's what I love doing. I love putting on a show, I live for it. Love putting a smile on people's faces and just helping them forget about everything else that's going on for that time that they're in the venue watching myself and the band. Looking forward to taking a great band out. I've already done it a couple of times, and it's fantastic. It's what I've kind of been building up to really over the years. Following that, it will be progress on the next album. Those who know me know that I don't like to mess about with things like that. I like to crack straight on. So some songs on there that are typically done in swing, but I've sort of changed up the feel a little bit, and there'll be definitely more of a Latin vibe. Latin's a genre I've wanted to explore for a while, so really pleased about doing that. And some fantastic singers that are going to be featuring on the album as well. We're doing duets with myself, some of whom I've already announced, some are still to be announced, so do watch this space.
It's too perfect